The dream began as it always did, with light. Golden morning light poured through the window of Dorian's small room, warming his face and coaxing him awake. Outside, the sounds of Embervale greeted the day. He could hear the soft murmur of the marketplace coming alive, the creak of wagon wheels over the cobblestone, and the bright laughter of children chasing each other through the town square. It was a symphony of life, simple and pure. Dorian's mother called from the kitchen, her voice carrying the warmth of home.
Dorian, breakfast is ready. Don't make me come up there.
He grinned, leaping from his bed and bounding down the stairs, two at a time. The smell of fresh bread and honey filled the air, mingling with the earthy aroma of his father's workshop next door. His parents, always busy, paused to greet him with smiles that made him feel like the most important person in the world.
Morning, champ.
His father said, ruffling his hair as he polished his wooden figure. His mother placed a steaming plate of eggs and potatoes before him, kissing his forehead. It was a life so full, so whole, that it felt untouchable. Dorian's younger sister, Mara, burst into the room. Her hair still tangled from sleep, she teased him as she grabbed a piece of bread from his plate, and he laughed, chasing her around the table. The world seemed eternal in its joy. But, even in this dream, Dorian knew it wasn't real. The edges of his vision blurred, and the laughter faded like a melody slipping away. Flickers of the glowing tree appeared in the corner of his vision, like a whisper in the fabric of reality. He turned toward it, finding himself at the edge of the forest of veiled whispers. The tree stood tall and radiant, its ethereal light pulsing like a heartbeat. It called to him, though he didn't understand why.
Dorian!
The tree seemed to say, though no words left its glowing branches. Instead, its presence wove a sensation through him, comforting yet ominous, familiar yet distant. He reached out, his hand trembling, but before he could touch it, the ground beneath him trembled. The serene forest dissolved, replaced by a scene of chaos. Embervale shuddered under the weight of its coming storm. Dark clouds rolled in, devouring the sun's golden rays. The town square, once bustling with life, erupted into screams as the ground cracked open, spilling arcs of raw, shimmering energy into the air. Dorian turned to run, but the threads of energy lashed out, tearing through buildings and people alike. The world seemed to unravel before his eyes. He saw his father shielding Mara, his mother's desperate cry as the workshop splintered and collapsed. He tried to scream, to warn them, but his voice was swallowed by the cacophony of destruction. In the distance, the glowing tree flickered, its light dimming as though consumed by the chaos. For a moment, Dorian swore he saw something, a shadow, no, a figure beneath the tree. Then the vision shattered. A voice pierced through the stillness.
Dorian, wake up.
The dream dissolved, and Dorian's eyes opened to the dim, cluttered workshop of Dorian Veyne. The air smelled of oil, parchment, and faint traces of ozone, a signature of the scholar's experiments. Tiberian loomed over him, his wild gray hair framing a face etched with equal parts genius and exasperation.
You were mumbling again.
Tiberian said, handing Dorian a steaming mug of tea.
I hope you've rested enough because we have work to do. The engine won't assemble itself, you know.
Dorian sat up, shaking the remnants of the dream from his mind. He took the tea, its warmth grounding him in the present. The echoes of Embervale still lingered, but he pushed them aside. Tiberian was right. There was work to be done. Tiberian walked to a nearby table, gesturing to a mess of gears, blueprints, and half-finished contraptions.
Today, we're tackling something new, a stabilizer for the resonance coil. If we can get it to work, it'll change everything.
His voice carried a note of excitement, but Dorian could barely focus. The dream, no, the memory, clung to him like a shadow. He set the mug down and joined Tiberian, forcing himself to concentrate. The workshop's familiar chaos, with its shelves of tools and precariously stacked books, offered a strange comfort. As he picked up the wrench and began to work, the faintest flicker of golden light caught his eye through the workshop window. He turned, but it was gone.
You'll need to focus, Dorian.
Tiberian said without looking up. Dorian nodded, though the words rang hollow. The world may not wait, but neither would the past.